This is KGW News at noon.
Well, we knew the ice was coming. What we still don't know exactly is how long it will stick around, at least in some spots. Right now, the temperature in downtown Portland sits right below the freezing mark at 31 degrees, so there are sidewalks throughout the city still that are dangerous to walk on and plenty of roads that you should still avoid if you do have to drive this afternoon. Take a look at this. This truck driver we're going to show you here on the St. John's Bridge learned the hard way today just how treacherous it can be to drive in freezing rain. Thanks for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. A lot's been happening out there today. For a lot of kids, it's another day off school. You can see the school closure information scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Also a big story today, ODOT has told us to expect that I-84 closure between Troutdale and Hood River in the Gorge to last all day. We've got team coverage at noon now with crews spread out over the metro area. But let's start things off with meteorologist Rod Hill. Rod, I'm hoping that you're talking about thawing out.
Well, it's often a very gradual process depending on where you are, and that's what we're seeing today. Here's downtown Portland, our Pioneer Courthouse Square vantage point. Still kind of ice and snow covered, but you can see things are slowly turning a little bit more to the slush. It's 31 up at PDX. It's 31 here at KGW. But this reporting site also in downtown Portland shows 33. So basically we're right around that freezing zone. What I find interesting, watch my hand. Look at this line. 34 Beaverton, 38 Tiger. Look how everything is so much warmer to the south. Westland 42, Happy Valley 39, even Sandy's at 33. So there is warming trying to work northward. Scappoose Airport has cracked the freezing mark at 33. And then this is the real warm spot. Aurora 45. McMinnville, Kaiser, Salem 46, Almsville shares that. Estacada, good afternoon. You share a temperature of 46 degrees as well. The ice storm warming holding on for the Multnomah County area and the core of downtown Portland until our temperatures get up just a little bit. Again, there's that PDX mark at 31. You jump up to Kelso, it's 33. But along the Columbia River, this is what the east winds are pulling off of. 14 Pendleton, 18 the Dalles, very cold air still coming in. And that's why this warm up has been so gradual. It will gradually continue pushing the thermometer upward during the afternoon hours. So I would say confidence is full that at least in downtown we're going to be above freezing, 38 degrees. We talked about this morning. If you are watching us from east of 205 into Troutdale, those east winds have not shown much change over the last 6 hours. It's not a guarantee that you get above freezing today. A lot of you are still 28, 29, 30 degrees. Here's the radar, and you can tell who's cold. There's Clark County, freezing rain still being reported. There's the gorge out in East Multnomah County, still reporting freezing rain. There is hope that the winds will calm enough that everybody gets to be warm. But again, if you're watching us from East Multnomah County into the gorge, can't guarantee you're going to warm up today. Back to you.
Yeah, it's safe to say, Rod, wherever people live, warmer temperatures can't get here soon enough. And here's another example why. Take a look at this now. These semi-trucks show just how slick it's been out there today. Multiple semis slid off the road, shutting down a couple of off-ramps along I-205 in Clark County.
What a mess. Devin Haskins has been in Vancouver all morning long. And Devin, earlier this morning, it was looking like an ice rink out there. How are things looking now?
Yeah, things aren't much better. You can see behind me the road. Here we're downtown Vancouver near Esther Short Park. The road is still completely covered in snow and that packed down, adding the ice on top of it. It is a slippery mess out here. In fact, let me give you an idea of what I dealt with early this morning, as well as what troopers saw in their morning commutes. That is exactly why I'm doing this, to show how slick these streets are. You know, this morning with all this ice. It's easy to see just how slick and slippery downtown Vancouver was at 5 this morning. Yeah, it's a sheet of ice out here. The freeways weren't much better, albeit a slower morning commute, a slick one nonetheless. We came across multiple cars and semi-trucks that had slid off the road.
Oh, the roads have been treacherous. Definitely a cold and slick morning.
This morning, troopers shut down the westbound off-ramp from 205 to Padden Parkway after this semi-truck slid off the road. This car tried to pass the truck and slid off as well.
The grade on this is just treacherous. It's solid ice. Just standing here is hard.
A little farther south at the SR 500 eastbound off-ramp, same situation, different semi. Troopers call this ice storm a perfect combination of the two weather events.
Perfect conditions. It's been super cold, let alone with the snow. Ice pack warmed up just a little bit to where we had a little bit of the ice melt and refroze over. We had a hard freeze. and we got the freezing rain on top of it. Just makes for horrible driving conditions.
Yeah, there were multiple times that we actually slid and kind of fishtailed ourselves in our four-wheel drive vehicle. Troopers say those two semis that slid off the off-ramps didn't have chains on. They put them on finally when they slid off, but it was too late for that. Back to you.
Thank you so much for your reporting today, Devin. Now to East Multnomah County, I-84 between Troutdale and Hood River still closed this noon.
Yeah, KGW's John Adams is live at the Troutdale truck stop for us. John, it's a waiting game at this point for truckers out there, and it could be a long one.
You know, it really is a waiting game, and the reason why it's a waiting game is because Troutdale is completely covered in ice at this point. You know, I'm standing on in a parking lot here at one of the truck stops, completely ice underneath our feet here. When we arrived this morning, as we moved out of the Portland area, once we got closer to Troutdale, I-84 was covered in ice as well. And for the truckers that are here, many of them that have been here and turned away from continuing on I-84 and have had to exit, it's a frustrating day. Semi after semi line the exit ramps and truck stops in Troutdale as winter conditions make I-84 impassable. The Arctic air and freezing rain continue to keep the gorge in a stranglehold, even as other parts of the area start to thaw. For truck drivers that are stuck here, the anxiety builds as the clock ticks. Days like this mean lost time and lost wages, but sometimes it's important to see the glass half full.
It's about money then. We're sitting here, I make nothing unless I can move. We're just sitting here going broke. I've got food in the truck, so everything I eat I have to replace, so that's money, but it gives me a day off.
It's an inconvenience, and it messes with your paycheck a little bit, but it'll melt and we'll get running again.
ODOT says I-84 will likely remain closed on Wednesday as the frigid east wind continues to howl through the gorge, delaying the much-anticipated end of what has been a deadly winter weather event for the area. Well, we want to also note that SR 14 is closed as well, so no way to pass through the gorge. The good news is conditions have gradually improved over the last hour. The freezing rain has stopped. Warmer air feels like it's moving in, so hopefully that means the tide has turned a little bit here and we can get this cold air moving out of the area, guys.
Yeah, again, I-84 between Troutdale and Hood River expected to be shut down all day. Thank you for your reporting this morning and this noon, John. Well, many sidewalks and streets in Portland still sheets of ice. This is what it looks like right now at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Still looking slick. I see one person braving that like little pathway there. Probably still slick though.
Yeah, those pathways were clear this time yesterday, but now ice covered. I believe I see one more person this afternoon. There is that person. China Green is live in downtown for us. So China, two-part question. Where exactly are you in downtown and how are things looking there?
Things are looking tough. I actually have to hold on to something so I don't slip and fall on my face on live TV because that's embarrassing, right? But we're right off of 20th, and 20th isn't a problem here. The main roads are not a problem. It's the side streets and the sidewalks, which are an absolute joke. I mean, just take a look at this. There is no way you are walking on this or finding any sort of balance. It's not going to happen. You're just going to slide right on down. Up here, this is what a nope looks like. When this person attempted to get out of this gate and then found that it was a little bit too slippery right there on the sidewalk and then just didn't continue his walk. But we talked to Dylan Rivera with Portland Bureau of Transportation this morning, and he said the side streets that aren't plowed had an inch of snow from this weekend's storm, and now they have a glaze of ice on top of them, which we're on. But even the main roads this morning, Dylan says they're literally using the force of tires on their heavy snow plows to crush the ice that is on their routes just to get one passable lane. But let's talk about the people walking in this today. We're seeing many people walk on the roads because the roads are slushy in some areas and the sidewalks are just ice. We saw a guy really struggling in the South Park blocks. Regular shoes are just not going to cut it. You will slip and it will hurt. I know, I could tell you, I've done it 3 times. And we just came across a guy who looked like he was trying to repark his car, and then he said, all right, I'm going to walk to work. But then once he got acquainted with what the sidewalk looks like, he decided that he was going to call out. And also, PBOT had to rescue 2 fire trucks. So if you are driving anything lighter than a fire truck, you should also stay off the roads and sit this one out. Back to you guys.
China, I know that spot where you're at near the Mac Athletic Club. And I also know the parking situation over there. If we could see that truck one more time. I know you are not allowed to park on that sidewalk. That is unbelievable.
That's for sure.
Jeez
wow.
Louise.
Okay, thank you, China. So this ice causing issues on mass transit too. Let's get right to our Chris McGinnis for an update on where things stand right now. Chris, what do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, and at the noon hour, TriMet's telling us all MAX service is still disrupted. They hope to get the Blue Line up and running at some point. That is their first priority, and then they will work their way to the other lines. Shuttle buses are serving all MAX lines. Expect delays, though, also at all bus routes. By the way, checking in with C-Tran, all express service is canceled today, and there are significant delays on the C-Tran system as well. Check ctran.org for the latest updates on that. All right, let's get you to the roads. John Adams was out in Troutdale showing you what the entrance to the gorge looks like. This is what it actually looks like in the Columbia River Gorge. This is a live camera from ODOT out in Cascade Locks. We did see a snowplow go through here eastbound, taking that Cascade Locks exit about 2 hours ago, but you can see it is still a winter wonderland out there. We have numerous closures. Of course, Interstate 84 is closed. Highway 47 closed in Washington County between Banks and Highway 26 because of downed trees. Highway 34 west of Corvallis closed. Sweet Home to Shea Viewpoint on Highway 20 also closed. So downed trees still taking their toll on roadways outside of the metro area. In town, guys, this is encouraging. This is a live look at I-205 near Stark, and not only do we see bare pavement, but at this point, with temperatures getting near or above freezing in some cases, just wet roads. So pack your patience, hang on, we will get there. It's just going to take a little while longer this afternoon, guys.